Hello, welcome to Spotlight, a ray of creative sunshine for the Isle of Man.
Spotlight, brought to you by the Isle of Man Arts Council.
This evening, as the school breaks up and no doubt the weather gets worse, a look at what is going on at Kensington Arts this summer in terms of summer workshops. More on Litfest 23 and a bit more chat with the president of the Mannin Arts Group, Ronnie Doyle. Remember, do get in touch with any creative artistic endeavours you may be involved in, planning, hoping to create, or would really like to. Go on, shout it out, you know you want to. Put in the spotlight. Poetic, visual, musical, theatrical, literary, ceramics. We never have enough ceramicists on this show. Get in touch, howardkane@manxradio.com or just spotlight at manxradio.com. I'll get them both and I will get back. What are you waiting for? Well, the summer holidays are almost here, which means a lot of young folk will have more time on their hands and usually they know what to do with. Well, what better way to spend the summer than to immerse themselves in the world of art or photography or theatre, which is exactly what they can do if they go along to Kensington Arts in the heart of Douglas. To find out more, I dropped by to hear some of what was on offer.
Hi, my name's Kai Varetto. I use they, them pronouns. I'm the Wild Track project leader at Kensington Arts. So this summer workshop, we're just focusing predominantly on the photography side of things. But Wild Track, the actual club, does all things multimedia, so anything to do with filming, photography, graphic design, animation, but more on like a amateur sort of level, so nothing professional. It's just to kind of introduce the kids to what they can do, what's accessible. You don't need any fancy techie gear to just start doing something that you're interested in. And we're open on Mondays. It's 6:30 till 8:30 during term times. But yeah, this summer project, it's from the 14th to the 18th, and it's from year 7 all the way up to year 13, I believe. So like just about 17, basically. It's from absolute beginners, so if you don't even know how to use a camera, that's absolutely fine. If you don't own a camera, that's fine. We've got some on the standby. But it's kind of first come, first serve sort of basis. So we're hoping to do some photography and learning how to use the software as well. We use Affinity instead of Adobe, just because of the cost more than anything, to be honest. We're hoping to go out a little trip around Douglas to get some nice footage and, photos, obviously. And I've named it New Beginnings because I thought it was kind of a nice sort of start, because a lot of kids will be starting in school in the new year and, kind of sentimental for the parents, and it kind of gets the kids thinking a little bit more outside the box, It was something that I wanted to start in Easter, but it just didn't come to fruition at the time. But here we are, and it's a nice little introduction to what the Wild Track's all about, and the staff as well, and, the club is kind of theirs if they come along, a bit more often.
Has the club run throughout the year, or...?
Yeah, the club runs whenever school is running, essentially. So when it's half term or it's summer, we'll be closed. But I'm hoping to be able to get the numbers up, and we'll be able to do some more things during the summer, because I would like to do filming and animation and lots of other things as well. But it just depends on numbers as well, of course, and if they're interested as well.
Yeah, surely. Well, I was going to say, what sort of kids do you get coming along normally?
At the moment, there seems to be a bit of a buzz around photography at the moment, so that's mostly why I've done the workshop predominantly around photography, because when we first popped up, I think it was last year, we had a lot of publicity, and a lot of young people that came down were very interested in the photography, but because we do so much, obviously each day is different. So we kind of maybe lost a few because we weren't doing it photography right then and there. Bless them. So hopefully we'll get loads on board in the summer. I'm looking forward to it.
And you say photography and obviously working there. Now, when I was a kid, of course, it was... I'm not going to go back to box brownies, but I did have an Instamatic 110, which was, I was out thinking I was the bee's knees with that. Now, I'm assuming that's a little bit passé. Most of the kids now... Are they sort of au fait coming along with their iPhones, or?
Yeah, so I do encourage them to bring their phones, but I do let them know that they won't be learning much in terms of actually photography and the skill of photography, because the phones kind of do it all for them. And when I tell them that, they kind of go, oh, and they're really intrigued, yeah. And all this, TikTok and Snapchat and all that, they're very intrigued about it all. And then, I can tell them that, we can make stuff like that if you wanted to, but, you need to have the patience and to learn it, stuff like that. They get really intrigued and really invested in it, it. But yeah, some of them do come along with their phones just thinking, oh, I kind of already know all this. And then actually when we talk about it, they realise it's a bit more to it. And it's quite funny actually, teaching them about technology that they're so used to now, something as simple as film. I actually asked a couple last week, why do you think it's called film? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And so when I explained to them what actually film used to be, it was quite funny, but also really showed my age. So yeah, it's been very interesting.
And is that what, because again, you're saying, talking to kids who are brought up purely in the digital realm, I guess, never having used, celluloid, or even knowing what it was. Is that what they're chiefly interested in about when they come along? Are they thinking about, oh gosh, I'd love to make a movie or a short film or something? Or is it more something that they're wanting to sort of get stuff up on TikTok, do something on YouTube or whatever?
It's actually surprisingly a mix. So you get some that just come in that are like, oh, I want to do video games or, Snapchat, TikTok, or they just learn about it. And then you've got others that come in that are like old souls, they should have been born in the 1980s, some of them, what I mean? I've got a young person at the moment that's just happy making a video game that's a side-scroller, which I'm like, where have they been in my life? Rather than trying to ask me to do something like, I don't know, Call of Duty or something, you know what I mean? Something really, really advanced. So, yeah, there's a real mix. It's really split. It's quite interesting, yeah. That's all I have to say, really, about that.
Okie dokie. So, open for anyone. You mentioned the gear as well, so if someone's thinking, I'd like to go along, but I don't even have an iPhone or something, that's still cool? Yeah,
so obviously it's a first come, first serve sort of basis, because we've only got a limited amount of not software, stuff in equipment.
Yeah.
But we do have what is available when I was at college. So it's like your Canon cameras, DSLRs, but they're nothing like high tech or fancy, nothing to be scared of or anything like that. And we've got a basic camcorder as well, video camcorder. And a shotgun mic as well, so it gets them used to some of the basic kind of equipment to get them kind of like, oh, I can actually feel comfortable and confident doing this, and hopefully if they get inspired they can go to college and be like, oh, I recognise some of this gear, and so on and so forth. That's the idea of it as well.
Cool. So that's a great grounding then, as you say. If someone they got kick in the heels in the summer, thinking, wouldn't mind dabbling in that, and who knows, could be something they could go on and do to greater depth at a later time.
Yeah, that's the idea, is that they kind of have a bit more of a stand-in, so they're not just kind of lost, or if they really want to maybe get a bit of a head start in the college course, that they can pop down as well. If they're 16, 17 and they don't have access to the equipment the same as their classmates or whatever, they can come down and borrow some equipment as well. So there is some loaning equipment as well with Wildtrack. Again, it's only limited though because of the equipment that we have. But yeah, I wanted to be able to make it accessible to as much as possible as well. But yeah, so Wildtrack's multimedia little workshop, and we're doing a photography in the summer, which should be good.
Hi, I'm Ali. I work for the Mannin Arts Council in the arts team. I also don many hats at Kensington Arts as well.
Which is where we're at now, and just catching up with some of the team leaders who are doing the workshops through the summer. Always a super busy time here at KA.
Yes, very much so, and such a variety of things for everybody to do who maybe doesn't normally think that there's a lot going on here. There is, even during the summer, obviously with Kai and Anna doing some very interesting workshops. And you can go on Kensington Arts website to have a look at the programmes that are on at the moment during the summer, from the 14th to the 18th of August.
And do you think a lot of people, as you've suggested there, don't sometimes realise these things are running for their kids in the summer?
Yes, and also they're very affordable as well, and the pricing structure is on our website as well, and I think people will be quite pleasantly surprised about the pricing structure of just how much is on for the price as well. So during term time as well, you have Art Tank during term time, which is also very affordable, and Sound Check, which is also for adults as well as children.
I suppose it's just a great way in many ways. You think, well, what better way, particularly for young folk now who maybe don't always get a chance to express their creative side of their personality. This is a really wonderful way, I think, to spend a few days of your summer break actually being super creative, and you just don't know what it might go on to become in your life.
Well, this is the creative hub, I think, for that. You couldn't have a better facility and place and welcoming space for all to express their creativity. It's really the only place, I think, that does that on the island at the moment, and makes it affordable as well and welcoming.
It is. Always a smile, always something on. Probably a cup of tea knocking around if someone asks as well. And just finally then, give us the details. There's always stuff going on throughout the summer and throughout term times as well at KA. People want to find out more. Best place to go to the website?
Yep, Kensington Arts. They can go and have a look on there. They can also check all the socials as well. So you've got Wild Track's Facebook page, you've got Art Tank's Facebook page and Soundcheck, but also Kensington Arts is the main Facebook page that we use at the moment, which is connected to the website. So if you ever wanted to book anything, just go straight to the website.
Spotlight, brought to you by the Isle of Man Arts Council.
Speaking of young folk, what, I hear you ask, is there for young folk at the Wordy Extravaganza, which is this year's Litfest?
What's going on for young folk at the Wordy Extravaganza, which is this year's Litfest?
Exactly. Well, the answer is plenty, as Helen Jessup told me.
So this year we've got Clara Vulliamy coming over. So a lot of people will know her mum, Shirley Hughes, who wrote the Alfie books, very, very popular children's author and illustrator. Clara's now a well-known author-illustrator in her own right. She's coming over. She'll be doing school visits as part of Schools Day on the Friday, where we send all the visiting authors around local schools as a free sort of gift to the schools to get children to experience the arts and writing and illustrating, things like that. So she'll be doing that. And then on the Saturday, during the day, we're still ironing out some of the fine details with the family library, but she'll be at the family library. She'll be doing some reading, she'll be doing some illustrating, possibly a little bit of workshopping. So if children want to come and do their own drawings. She's recently released a book called Dog Squad, which is like a investigative dog mashup.
The mind boggles.
I know, there's the things that people come up with. It's incredible. So we're really, really excited for that. And it's just nice to be able to offer something for the children in a central location. It's completely free. You don't have to book. Just turn up, come and listen to her reading some of her stories, come and join in with the activities and just have a lovely time.
And that's really nice, as you say, and I suppose important as well for sort of literature and the written word and spoken word to get people interested when they're young, because, you know, if you get them people interested now, and I know there's perhaps a feeling now that all young children spend all their time just on their phone and devices, and the written word and something on the page isn't the same. I don't think it's necessarily true. It's just a change in technology maybe, but it's really great if you get people interested in reading and poetry and the art form at a young age, then they'll usually stick with it for life. Yeah, which is nice. Lovely. Okie dokie. Anything else coming up?
Yeah, so we've got Elise Downing coming over. So Elise is a runner who one day woke up and decided she was going to run the entire of the coastline of Britain. Having never done much running before other than a marathon in which she had dressed as a crayon and was subsequently dubbed the Crying Crayon. So it's clearly not gone...
Promising start.
super well. But so she ran the entirety of the coast, wrote a book about it. The book is incredible. It's so funny. It's so inspirational and uplifting. I don't read a lot of non-fiction. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was so good. So I'm really excited for her coming over. There's a really good little community of runners on the Isle of Man. We've got a brilliant coast. So those two groups hopefully can come together, and we can hit both of those groups with an event that promises to be really, really inspirational. She's also now does sort of like those motivational speaking events and things like that. So she's a really, really good speaker, really funny book, really good book. So hopefully people really enjoy it, because, you know, it really hits a lot of the things we have on the Isle of Man. You know, we've got a gorgeous coastline. And she's really excited to come over and see our coastline. Maybe she'll come over and do a full lap of that. You never know.
There'd be a good book in that, isn't it? My lap of the island. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would take her much less time.
Well, yes. Compared to Britain, I'd imagine, she could knock that off in a few days.
Yes.
Yeah. One would think, rather her than me, mind you. Okay, that sounds very good. So, a real broad spectrum.
Yes, we'll just quickly nip back to the very, very start of the festival, which is the Tuesday, the 26th. So we are opening the festival with our Book Fanatics quiz. So that's a much more relaxed sort of event. If you like a quiz, even if you don't know much about books, I find it doesn't matter because Rob Cope, who writes it, has such a broad array of questions that no one seems to know the answer to all of them. Some of them are very niche, but it's such a good night. It's such a lot of fun. And it'd be nice for, a new team maybe to come and knock the winners off the top spot. Because there's some people who win every year. They get very, very smug, and I think it's time to knock them down a peg or two. But no, it's such a good event, lots of fun, and that's going to hopefully be at Noah. So nice venue, nice vibe to it, and just come and have a laugh. Even if you don't know much about books, you can just come and get stuck in with the whole atmosphere of it, and that's going to kick off the festival. We'll have loads of information there about the rest of the festival as well, so it's a good sort of fact-finding mission if you still can't find out what you need to know. Loads of the team will be there, so you can always come and harass us for answers if there's anything you need to know. And it's just a fab night out. Bring a group of workmates, group of friends.
Why not?
Have a drink, and you never know. It might be one of those years where all of the questions are geared just to you.
You know everyone. It's not impossible. So that's a great opener. What's the finale? The final event is.
So the final event is that. So Jay's poetry about event, and then Elisa's. So on the same night. So quite close together. We'll have one, have a break, and then the other. So it finishes on a nice sort of uplifting, a little bit of poetry, a little bit of running, inspirational, and then we can all go and have a really good sleep.
And think about 2024.
Yes, and continue thinking about 24.
A marvellous, really broad spectrum there, as you say. It sounds terrific already, I must admit, and plenty of time yet to get in there. So tickets coming out shortly, so people want to find out more and then obviously be able to book tickets and such like. Where do they go?
So at the moment, a lot of the updates are going up on our Facebook page. You just search for Manx Litfest in the search bar and we should pop right up. We've got the website where news is slowly starting to go on, and links to the tickets will be going onto the Facebook page and the website, and that should be over the next couple of weeks. We'll get them up and out, and we'll do a big announcement then that they're ready and on sale, and to get your groups together. If you're coming to any of the group ones, get them booked, and especially if you're planning to come to gin and poetry events. They're always very, very popular, so grab your tickets quickly.
Young or old, there really is something for everyone at Litfest 23. Search for Litfest on Facebook. Links to tickets available there shortly, if not already. The Mannin Arts Group, we heard about their show last week, gearing up for their summer exhibition in Ramsey later this month, and we heard from the president, Ronnie Doyle. Well, while he was in the studio, Ronnie told me more about the society itself and what it did, how it worked, and I asked whether it was separate from the Isle of Man Art Society.
Very separate group, and in fact I think we were the first one. It was formed in 1949 by Sir Sidney Wadsworth, and he only started the whole thing off really because of his wife. She was a budding artist, I believe, at the time. And interestingly, amongst the first members were William Hoggett, John Nicholson and John Aiken.
Some well-known names there.
Some quite well-known names, yeah. So we all have a lot to live up to. But it has progressed like all these art groups over the years. It's had its ups and downs. But we've got very good membership. We've got about 87 people in it, and about 30 or so people attend each Monday. First of all, it's fun. And it's a nice place to be because nobody is too precious about themselves. We're all there to help each other. So it's a good atmosphere. And we've had lots of new people coming in over the last several years. In fact, we're always looking out for new people. And the younger the better, really, because they're the lifeblood of the whole art group.
And all these people, are they all based around the north of the island? Or?
Mostly they are. The odd one comes a little bit of a distance. We used to have people coming from Peel, which... if you've lived across or from Ireland. From Peel, it's only down the road. But we've people who come from maybe not the far end of the island, but people travel a little bit, mostly though, from the north of the island and Ramsey itself.
But the membership is open to anyone who
the membership
wants
is
to join.
always, it is hard, it's open. And as I say, we're always trying to encourage new people. One of the things we suffered from for years was a lack of male members, but we've got a lot more men now. So there's a better balance. And it's interesting to see how it influences the type of art we produce. So, we've got a really good mix of people, but all very positive and lovely, as I say, friendly atmosphere and filled with enthusiasm. It's a great... I look forward to it every Monday going down. We work through from 10 until 1. We have the hall. I always arrive with a crowd of others about 9:30. But it's a great place to be.
And where is that? Do you meet? You say that's then?
We meet at St. Paul's Hall, right beside St. Paul's Church, Market Square in Ramsey. Yeah, so it's a lovely venue, lovely and light, great place to be.
Marvellous. And there is the exhibition coming up, I think a regular summer exhibition you do of members' work. So that's, let me see now, the Wednesday, the 26th of July.
I've got it down here as the actual dates of the opening, 27th, I think, till the 5th of August.
Okie dokie.
But and it's right through the day it's open. Slightly shorter hours on a Sunday, but it's, open right through from the 27th of July to the 5th of August.
And one other factor that the group do outside of the exhibition we're talking about there are the Meet the Artist days. Yes,
the Meet the Artist, which is my favourite time in the year, is usually late in October. And again, it's displaying the work you do, but making available for sale what you do. And a lot of people also sell cards of prints of their work, and I sell actual prints as well. But a thing I started a few years ago was a workshop. So I'd carry out a workshop. I'd just bring all my gear with me and do a watercolour workshop or a pen and wash. And people like that because children can be involved. And to me, like any organisation, it's only as strong as the youth coming into it. So I'm fairly passionate that I make available a workshop facility at Meet the Artist in October, so that the young people, doesn't matter whether they're tiny tots or teenagers, come along and they can actually pick up a brush and I'll show them how to paint in watercolour. And that is always a great success.
Wonderful. And that's, sort of inspiring the next generation as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it's possible.
And again, that exhibition is from July the 27th to August the 5th. Lots of the work is for sale. Make a note in your diary and drop in.
Baby, take off your coat real slow. Baby, take off your shoes. I'll help you take off your shoes. Baby, take off your dress.
That's more or less it. Don't forget, by the way, the Full Monty, currently running at the Gaiety. We heard from last week here on Spotlight. The show runs to the 22nd. 2 shows on the Saturday. I hope lots of legs are broken in the theatrical sense, but even though it's a Manx show, hopefully no breakage of third legs. I'll leave it there. That's about it this week. Don't forget, if you want to hear anything again, why wouldn't you? Go to themanxradio.com, download the Spotlight podcast and listen where you want. Why not try it whilst knitting a 1/32nd scale model of the Villa Marina? Try it. See you next week. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, be creative about it. Cheerio.